Welcome to another PC Sports Cards PSA Submission Reveal. This is Josh with PC Sports Cards. If you've never seen our videos before, we do reveals of PSA, BGS, SGC submissions. We give some hobby insight, what we see in the hobby. We talk a lot about how you could monetize this hobby and make some money, whether it's to put money in your pocket or grow your collection, and a lot of stuff like that. If that's valuable to you and you see value in our videos, please hit that subscribe button, click the little bell to get alerts. It really helps us out. The more subscribers we have, the more videos are watched. It's the more time we could actually put into doing these videos. So today I decided to do a video a little bit differently than we've done in the past. Instead of flipping through the 170 cards in orders or 50 cards in orders and talking about a few topics, decided to just do the financial part of it. Just show you the money. And this is really going to be a comparison of PSA and SGC, a little bit of BGS mixed in. We have 4 cards that we're going to talk about. A little bit of an overview behind this. We're doing the $1,000 challenge, and I'm looking for stuff to grade to make money and to help grow my $1,000 that I'm starting with. And I wanted to go through commonly graded cards. So there's a couple criteria that I look for. I look for names that people are looking for. Remember, rule number 1 is always to look for something that somebody else is going to pay a premium for in that graded holder, whether it's you or somebody else. So I'm looking for cards that have that premium. The number 2 thing that I look for is a security blanket. Guys, I'm not a huge risk taker. I don't like gambling. I know I do a lot of baseball card stuff, but I really don't like gambling. So I'm looking for cards that I can get close to making money with or breaking even if I get a 9. And again, ultra modern stuff, and make a lot of money getting a 10 where the grade odds are in my favor, meaning 75, 80, 90% of the time I can make money on the card, and the other 20 or 30% of the time I'm minimizing my loss or breaking even. So we have 4 different cards. The first one is Elly De La Cruz Mega Refractor. So what I looked for were cards that were at least had a big history of grading with PSA, which all of these do, and ideally a big history with SGC and or BGS. We're starting with the Mega. It's a relatively common card. If you look up on the top left of the screen, right up here, we have 72% of our cards with PSA are a PSA 10 or better, and 75% are a 9.5 or better. So it's a quote-unquote gem rate, because 9.5s for SGC are a not gem mint, but mint plus or gem or something like that. They're not considered gem mint, I don't think. Maybe they are. So wanted to do that instead of trying to compare a mint card, which is a 9. A 9 is a mint with both companies. So we're looking at a $14 to $15 raw card, not including shipping. So that could be a card that is $17 or $15 or $18. Let's call it $15 to be safe. A PSA 9 sells for $28, and a PSA 10 sells for $66. So yes, at $19 grading, I am losing money with a PSA 9. Let's call it I'm losing $8. So 25% of the time, I'm losing $8. Now, 72% of the time, I'm making $30. So roughly, I need to go 1 for 5 to break even with a card that grades out at 3 out of 4. That's a home run card in my mind, a great card to send in. Now, with SGC, again, call it the same numbers. After selling it, an SGC 9, I'm losing my entire grading fee. I'm losing $19. Maybe more, maybe less, but let's call it $19. Let's lose the whole grading fee. 75% of the time, I'm either getting $50 or $60. Let's call it $55. So the grading fee is variable. It could be $18, could be $22. Let's call it the same exact price as PSA, just to make things simple. So 15 plus 19 is 34. I'm making $20 75% of the time, and I'm losing $20 25% of the time. That's not nearly as good as PSA, because I have to go 1 for 4 here, right? I could lose, no, actually, I have to go 50%, right? I have to go at least 50% to make money here, because if I'm losing 20 and getting 20, I have to go 50%. So with one company, I need to go 20% with a higher payout and a better and roughly the same chance. And with the other company, I have to go 50%. Guys, seems pretty straightforward that I'm sending this card to PSA almost every single time. Now, I'm not doing this to rip on or promote one company or another. I'm doing this strictly to show you the value. Now, I will say, while we have this one still up there, you know what, I'll go back to the main screen. I will say, take the card off. There are chances and ways to make money with different companies. What I'm looking at is over the long haul. I'm not looking for one-off cards, RPAs, low-numbered refractors. I'm looking for what I could do consistently over time to increase my money, right? That's it. So that's why I took cards that are very, very commonly graded and very, very commonly available. Number 2, 2020 Bowman Chrome Jason Dominguez Prospects card. Unfortunately, I deleted the numbers for PSA, but I wrote them down. We have a PSA 10. There's 9,600 of them. 9656 PSA 10s, 7540 PSA 9s. I may add that in after the fact if I remember. So let's call it 1,800 graded altogether. Maybe 1,900 graded altogether, in that range. 18,000 or 19,000. That's a lot of cards. 18 or 19,000 of these have been graded by PSA alone. If you look at SGC, there's 1,060 graded. We have 28% where we get a 10 or a pristine, and we have 68% where we get a 9.5. First of all, let's rip the SGC Band-Aid off here, guys. This card is $15 raw, and it sells for $23 as an SGC 10. There is just absolutely no chance I'm ever sending this to SGC. Even if I get the grade that I need, I'm losing money buying this card to sell, right? Even if I hit the grade that I need, right? So let's just forget about SGC straight off the bat with this kind of card. And I think the trend's going to be when the pop report keeps growing with SGC, there's less of an overall demand for SGC than there is for PSA. That's why in a couple videos ago I said something about being the first one to grade it. When you have low pop cards and there's a ton with PSA and there's very few with SGC or BGS, there is definitely an opportunity to grade with those companies to make money. But as the pop report grows, your strategy might need to change. Those are the 3 grading companies you can use to make money, in my mind, in some kind of way or fashion. So I'm not discounting any of them. I'm just saying the long-term money is just not there right now. But maybe this deal, like the $9 Topps deal that SGC is running, when a new product comes out, they'll probably do the same thing with Bowman when it comes out, probably do the same thing with Prism, Optic, Select, whatever companies they can, they're going to do this kind of stuff. It looks like Topps right now, but maybe it'll be Panini products also. There's money to be made to get the first ones graded. Just long-term, looking at it right now, especially my $1,000 challenge when I'm looking for cards to grade to make money, I'm just not looking at this kind of card with SGC. So we're knocking SGC out right away. Let's see if PSA makes sense. $15 raw, call it $20 to grade. Just easy math. $35 to grade this card. Now, 45% of the time, so almost half the time, I'm losing $10+. Let's call it $15. 50% of the time, 55% of the time, I'm making, call it $40 after fees and shipping and stuff. So $40, 50% of the time, $10, 45% of the time. Again, I need to be right about 20%. I have to be right 1 out of every 5 so I can make money. Lose 10 4 times, make 40 once. That's the math. Says I get 55% gem rate. No, I need to hit a 20% gem rate to make money. Another card that I would still consider grading with PSA. Now, as more and more come out, if Dominguez doesn't perform, that might change. But looking at the math alone, this is still a card that PSA is an option. Guys, if you agree with this, don't agree with this. If you are questioning the methodology, if you're questioning the math, please comment. Let us know what you're thinking. And on the flip side, if this is valuable to you and you want to see more stuff like this, We will be doing more of these. We're going to do, obviously, a ton more videos. We still have 2 more cards that we're going to talk about, and we're going a little bit deeper and a little bit slower on these conversations. It may seem a little repetitive, okay, but I want to give as much information as possible. This one's going to be overload. This is sensory overload. Another good reason that it's up there for 5 minutes, so you could sort of figure out what's going on. So this is a card where I could throw BGS in the mix and tell you why I think BGS might be the best company for this, or PSA. Again, I'm not sure SGC is going to make it in my math, but we're going to see. All right. So this is a $44 card raw. We'll do SGC first. $44. I'm going to spend $20 to grade it. $44 plus $20 is $64. It sells for $51 as an SGC 9.5. Now you have a 90% chance to get a 9.5 or better, and a 71% chance to get a 10. So you have a strong chance of getting money, and there's 25 pristines. So there's a chance you get a gold label, which is worth obviously much more than even the SGC 10. So we're going to ignore that right now and just lump it because it makes the math a little bit easier. Again, I'm losing, give or take, $15 for a 9.5, and I'm making, give or take, $10 for a 10. And look at, the listing's a little confusing because look, they wrote PSA in their listing, which is crazy to me. Well, it's not crazy, it's keyword spamming, but they wrote the SGC listing also had PSA written in it. That's pretty funny. So again, I'm giving you the number after fees when we sell this card. So we're making 10 for an SGC 10, which is 90% of the time, and we're losing 15 even on getting an SGC 9.5. I didn't write down all the math, but to me, losing proposition. Whenever I'm losing more than I'm making, I just want to avoid it. Now, could you make money with this card? Sure. It's an easy enough grade with SGC, 71% 10s. But if you look at PSA, there's a 90% chance at getting a 10, and the rest of the cards are 9s. There's very, very few that are less than a 9. When you look at BGS, a little bit smaller, there's 63% chance of getting a 9.5 and a 25% chance of getting higher than a 9.5, which is a 10 or a black label. And you're making money with that 9.5. You're making money with that 9.5. Again, this is another example, though, where a small pop report may be part of the reason. A smaller pop report. This is what I talked about in a previous video when we're talking about a Halliburton Blue Retail. It's a Pop 1 BGS 9.5. There's a chance that card's going to sell really, really well. We're going to find out. It's up for auction, I think. All right. So with PSA, a 9, again, you're losing the same $15. And with a 10, you're going to be making 64, give or take $50. So it takes 5 losses to cover 1 win. So even better percent chance, right? I need to be at like 16% success to break even when I have a 90% chance at success. Again, this isn't blindly sending every single card you get. You can't just buy them and blindly send them. This is saying you're looking over the card and it has a good chance to grade. Obviously, this card is relatively easy to grade across all the companies at the 90% chance of getting a 9.5 or better, right? So it's a relatively easy card to grade. It's in good condition. I would send this in every single time. I would consider sending this to BGS. You know, with a 9.5, which again, I have a 64% chance of getting a 9.5, I'm still making money. With a 9, I'm losing. Probably, I didn't see any 9 sales. With a 9, I'm probably losing a little bit. It's probably going to be about that same $50 card, maybe a little bit less. My numbers are there with a 25% chance of hitting this thing at $300 or more. There's 16 black labels. There's 176 of these cards. 26 or 27% are PGS 10s. There's a chance at a big home run with this kind of card. So I would go between PSA and BGS with my update with my Topps Chrome Otanis. I would again avoid SGC, unfortunately. It seems like a trend. I'm not out to get SGC at all. I'm just talking about the numbers, and this is what the numbers are telling me. Again, this could also be that there's 1,500 of them graded with SGC and only 660 graded with BGS, right? But the one that stands out is still 8,000 with PSA, and it's still selling for more as a PSA 10. It is by far the name brand and the one you can make money with the most. All right. 3 down, 1 to go. We got a higher value card. This was in a better submission, a higher level submission. This one's a PSA 9, not a PSA 10. We're going to talk about the whole analysis, though. All right. So here, a couple more numbers. 2017 Optic Mahomes. 7,000 graded with PSA, which is absolutely out of control, right? But only a 53% chance of getting a 10. There is a 93% chance of getting a 9 or better. So there's minor flaws on a lot of these cards. But you could still break even because you send this in at $19 still. Send it in at $19. You're not in a rush to get it back. You could still break even, maybe lose your fees a little bit, so lose $10, $20. But a PSA 10, you're nearly tripling your money minus fees, right? So if you go 1 for 4, you can go a lot. You can miss on a lot, lose $10, $10, over and over and over and over again, and hit one PSA 10, and that covers 40 losses or 30 losses because it's such a solid card as a 9 and a tough grade, and you have a 50% chance of getting it. Similarly, you could do almost the same thing with SGC. An SGC 9 is still a profitable card. You know, you probably actually exactly break even after fees with an SGC 9, but you still have a 43% chance of making a couple $100 and not as much on the top end with a really low chance of getting it. But this is a card that when I first look at the numbers, I'm like, oh man, I can't make money with this card. And then when you sort of analyze how many misses you need, now if you get an 8, you're probably going to lose $50. So I would say you probably need to go 1 out of 7 or 8 on this card to make money. Now it's a tough card. A lot of them have already been graded. What's raw is a little risky because there's probably a reason that it's raw. But if you could find some, this is the kind of card that I would look for strong grades on a BGS 9.5 to maybe cross over to PSA, or stronger grade, or maybe even SGC 9.5 I would consider cracking because that might become a PSA 10, might become a PSA 9 and lose money. There's sneaky opportunity with cards like this, but the real story with this isn't this card specifically. This is very common in that 200 to 400 range, dollar-wise. So if you play in that range with more cards that come out more recently, that could be a way that you could be protecting your downside and increasing your upside, which is the key to making money in this hobby. If you could protect your downside and increase your upside, this is a good example of a card in that price range that you could do that with. Again, probably would be sending to PSA over SGC here. I know you can get cards back quicker with SGC, but we're only looking at like a week or 2 quicker at this point. We're seeing bulk orders come back from PSA in a month or less. Vintage and older cards are definitely taking longer, but if we're looking at modern and ultra modern orders, they're coming back rapid fire. So I hope this deeper dive into some of the prices of cards that are commonly available and commonly graded is valuable to you guys. I hope you like this. If you do, let me know. If you don't, let me know. And let me know what you'd like to see or altered. Maybe next time I'll look for cards that have even less graded with PSA. It's tough to find cards that have a lot of SGC and not a lot of PSA though. Or they're like, when it's pop 10 or less with one of the companies, it's really hard to compare because I don't consider that a long-term comparison. I consider that a freshly graded comparison, or a freshly released comparison, which isn't really giving you information. The whole idea here is to give you long-term information. So really appreciate you guys watching. Again, drop some notes in the comments. Let us know what else we could do. You'll see some more videos. I think my first video about reviewing cards for the challenge will be coming up sometime soon. And really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much, and look forward to the next one.